The words fitness tracker might be a bit of a misnomer. It gives the impression that if you aren't into exercise, training, and all-around fitness, that you really have no use for any type of wrist-worn activity tracker. But if fitness and activity trackers were maybe called wellness trackers, maybe more of us would embrace them, since they do a lot more than just track your run. I'm Erin from Tech Gadgets Canada and TechGadgetsInternational.com, and case in point, Amazon has gotten into the wellness data game with its Halo View. But is this a worthy competitor to something like a Fitbit or a Garmin? I recently got a Halo View to test and review, so I'll tell you what it can do, how it works, what kind of data you get, and if I think it's a good option for you. An early heads up, if you end up liking this video and finding it helpful, to please hit that like button and consider becoming a subscriber. Both those things do help me keep making more videos that I hope everyone out there can watch, enjoy, and learn from. And don't forget, if you want to read, reference, or share this topic, you can head over to techgadgetscanada.com. Okay, what is the Halo View? This is Amazon's second-generation activity tracker. Unlike its predecessor, the Halo Band, Halo View has a new OLED screen, so you can get all of the biometric data you need without relying solely on the Amazon Alexa app on your phone or an Amazon Alexa device. The original Band was billed as a tracker that didn't distract you with its screen notifications, but it seems that folks found that a little weird, so here we are. Adding a screen, for better or worse, makes the Halo Band look like other fitness trackers. Thankfully, there's no Amazon branding or big logos, so what you do get, if you'll forgive the maybe obvious comparison, is essentially a Fitbit Inspire powered by Amazon technology. It's available in 2 sizes, which differ really only in band length, and you can also get it in 3 colors. And you'll want to ensure, by the way, that you choose the right size band, and we'll get to why that's important in just a bit. Inside the box, it's a pretty straightforward package. Other than the band itself, all you get is a proprietary charger and a quick start guide and a couple of motivational stickers. Let's talk about setting up your Halo View. Amazon relies on the Halo app for accessing stats, and the app also doubles as your setup guide. The app does a decent job explaining how to get things started, and it even shows detailed instructions and animated graphics on how to wear the Halo View on your left or right wrist. I had absolutely no issue getting it up and running and updating it to the latest firmware version. I was ready to go in just a few minutes. Halo View will track and report on all the now standard fitness, activity, movement, and sleep data as other devices do, including things like your sleep, steps, heart rate, and on-demand blood oxygen levels. Blood oxygen is accessed right on the band by swiping to data and then choosing blood oxygen. Halo View will also send you call and text notifications right to your wristband with a compatible phone, and I used mine with my Google Pixel phone for this test. You can also control your music, start live workouts, and get move reminders too. I tested the Halo View's step counting reliability by strapping the device onto my wrist, counting my steps, then checking my count with the Halo data. For the most part, I found the step count to be quite accurate, if maybe a little delayed to update inside the app. I'd say the step count was only off by a step or 2, which I consider to be quite accurate. Halo View will also track your sleep metrics, like how long you slept for, how long it took you to fall asleep, the time spent awake, and how long and at what time you were in each of the major stages of sleep, like when you were awake, in REM sleep, or light or deep sleep. It will also give you a score out of 100 in terms of how your overall sleep quality was. Halo View can also measure your skin temperature while you're asleep, and it can establish a baseline for your own personal normal. I checked my morning sleep report and found the device did seem to do a good and accurate job of tracking my sleep patterns. The timelines seemed to accurately match up for when I was woken up and for how long it took me to fall asleep. I found I could also largely agree with my overall sleep scores. I'm not sure what to say about the Halo View's heart monitoring ability. I have no medical grade devices to verify the accuracy of the View. I can only say how I felt and perhaps how it compared to some other wrist-worn devices. A few times in my testing, the Halo View registered my heart rate at extremely high levels, particularly when I was sitting or otherwise being chill. At one point while working on my laptop, I checked in on my heart rate and it showed a kind of problematic 135 to 140 beats per minute. I checked it against a Fitbit and then an Apple Watch just to make sure I wasn't on the verge of some kind of coronary crisis. Both other devices detected my heart rate at about half of what the Halo View showed it at. Even so, at other times the View was actually a lot closer to those other devices. If your Amazon Halo isn't correctly reflecting your resting heart rate, your max heart rate, or your live heart rate, there could be a few reasons for it. Your Halo device observes heart rate with an optical sensor on the bottom of the capsule. You might see less accurate data if the device is loose on your wrist, for example. Inaccurate data can also happen if you frequently clutch your fists, according to Amazon, or if your movement patterns are what they say is irregular. In my case, I think the fit was the issue, since I tended to get more inaccurate readings if the band was looser on my wrist. So for this reason, you'll want to choose your band size wisely when you order. When I ensured it was a snug fit and good and proper placement, I found the heart rate was significantly more accurate. If you need some tips to fix this issue, I've got additional details on techgadgetscanada.com. Amazon's unique spin on this fitness tracker is that it can also do a body composition analysis and use what's called its tone of voice feature. The body composition feature requires you to submit full body pictures of yourself in minimal clothing to analyze your body fat. The app tells me that the Halo body is powered by a computer vision algorithm that estimates the percentage of your body fat tissue, and that a 2021 study found the Halo body assessment to be as accurate as clinically recommended body fat estimation tools, and found it to be more accurate, for example, too, than at-home smart scales it was tested against. So aside from accuracy, the other concern with submitting full body photos of yourself is where those photos might end up. Amazon does detail its privacy protections as part of the tool and says the images are deleted after the assessment unless you choose to save them. The tool will ask for things like your ethnicity, weight, and then get you to prop your camera up somewhere and stand in front of it to take photos. A few seconds later, you've got your report. The Halo View scan put my body fat percentage at about 32.5%, which is in the lower to normal range, so I'd say that's about accurate for me. By way of comparison, I have a Fitbit Aria scale, and that scale puts my body fat percentage at 35.3%. The tone of voice feature listens to your voice and it evaluates how others might be hearing you. It's a really cool concept, and I've not seen this on other devices. I used the tone of voice feature and found it interesting. Getting the feature set up requires you to read some text aloud in your natural voice. Then you use what's called the live mode real-time voice analysis to interpret how you actually sound. And what is the use of a book, thought Alice, without pictures or conversations? After completing my baseline for this session, I practiced speaking as if I were on a conference call. Hello, I'm here today to talk about the Amazon. When I spoke in my normal voice, I got a positive reaction. Generally speaking, it showed that I was focused, knowledgeable, confident, and generally in a good mood. But I was able to push it into the negative by dropping my voice and sounding more clipped, constrained, and constricted. You can delete all these voice files, by the way, when you're done with them. This could actually be a really good tool to use on a conference call, for example, or when conversing with difficult people, since you can analyze and see how you sound on the spot and correct your tone if you want to. Or perhaps if you don't generally come across as authoritative, you could use this feature to help guide your conversations. It is an interesting tool and the prospects are fascinating. Let's take a closer look at the Halo app. I will say one of the first things I noticed about it is there is a lot going on, particularly on the main screen or the feed tab. There's so much in here, including your daily stats, insights, different options for fitness evaluations, plus things like recipe ideas and exercise demonstrations. I think Amazon wants to be your one-stop shop for all things fitness, but I found the app can be a bit overwhelming. Using the Data tab, though, is a lot more chill. You can simply view your activity and sleep at a glance, so it's easy to get an assessment of where you're at. To access all the big features on the Halo View, you do need an Amazon Halo membership. It's on the cheap side at about $4.99 a month, and you also get extra programs, recipes, and workouts from the app, along with extra stats like your movement health. Amazon offers a free trial membership to this service after you set up the watch, which is pretty cool. Once expired, you can still use some of the Halo View basics, things like sleep and step tracking, and you can get your burned calorie stats and your heart rate. The only hard negative I think some folks would find on this fitness tracker is that it's missing GPS functionality, which makes it kind of impossible to track distance, which something like a Garmin or certain Fitbits will do, albeit at much higher prices. The Halo View is another star in the ever-expanding constellation of Amazon Alexa's ecosystem, albeit a smaller one maybe due to its lack of microphone. This is not a fitness tracker you can talk to for the latest weather or ask it to play your Spotify tracks. But if you have an Echo in the house or use Alexa as your default smartphone assistant, you can ask questions about your sleep stats or your resting heart rate and get answers straight from Halo. Stated battery life is 7 days and recharging takes about 2 hours. Not surprisingly, your use may vary since battery life does vary based on things like your device settings and your overall usage and how often you're lifting your wrist to check it, for example. Overall, Halo View seems to be a mostly accurate and very cost-effective alternative to other wellness and activity trackers. While this device is definitely not geared at people like runners and elite athletes since it is missing that GPS, it does appear to be aimed at folks looking to keep tabs on their general wellness metrics, things like sleep, steps, and activity. The addition of a small color screen on this particular device lets you get data at a glance, or you can go more in-depth with the Halo app. There's also exercise help, fitness guidance, and even recipes tucked up inside the app, meaning you can use as much of it as you want to. There are also a few unique tools built into this device, including that tone of voice assessment and the body composition analysis using the photo scan. Both of those features in particular also seemed quite accurate. The biggest downside I found with this device is that if the band isn't correctly fitted, it could result in something like inaccurate heart rate measurements. Some folks may also pass on the View since it doesn't have GPS. Others may decry the monthly fee after the end of your free trial, but these monthly membership fees are actually pretty common across fitness and activity tracking devices. I can also add that the $4.99 US per month Halo fee that they're charging is significantly less than what Fitbit charges, for example, which is $9.99 for extremely similar metrics and services. That aside, I think the Halo View is a decent option for budget-savvy shoppers looking to keep an eye on all the basics and essentials of movement, sleep, weight, and health basics. The Amazon Halo View sells for about $79 US, and for now it is only available in the USA. If you're shopping around and you want to check out a few other wrist-worn fitness and activity trackers, you can watch my review video of the latest Fitbit now, or check out Google's new Pixel Watch with integrated Fitbit technology.